you so much for coming. If we could please have you all take your seats before we get started. Thank you so much. There are some empty seats over here or in the second row, so please fill those. Thank you.
Well, good morning. My name is Charles Sims. I'm the Executive Fire Commissioner for the City of Detroit. And I just want to say welcome to our humble home. It's glad to have everyone in the room. It is with great pleasure and honor to welcome and give special thanks to Governor Gretchen Whitmer, Speaker Joe Tate, Mayor Mike Duggan, Deputy Mayor Todd Bettison, Detroit City Council, my partner in blue, Chief White, and all other special guests and interested parties and stakeholders for your continued support to ensure our citizens receive the best service possible in their time of need. I would also like to thank the women and men of the Detroit Fire Department for their unwavering commitment and dedication to protect the citizens of Detroit. Because of their willingness to serve, the Detroit Fire Department has delivered the best Code 1 medical response time in history at 7 minutes and 21 seconds. And an amazing response time to structure fires at 5 minutes and 35 seconds. Because of these impressive responses, in conjunction with our robust community engagement initiatives, we have saved countless lives from medical emergencies, decreased structure fires by 28%, and decreased fire fatalities by 60% from this time last year, which are both historic lows. In closing, thank you again, Governor Whitmer and Speaker Tate, for choosing one of Detroit's fire stations for the signing of the budget and the revenue sharing trust. Also, thank you for the signing of House Bill 5527 and 5528, which will ensure a healthier and safer Detroit and state of Michigan. At this time, it is with great pleasure for me to introduce my boss and the biggest supporter of the Detroit Fire Department, Mayor Mike Duggan. Thank you.
Well, it's exciting to be welcoming Lansing to the city of Detroit. It's a particularly special day for me. My personal heroes I've never got a chance to meet is John Grisham, the writer. I'm just so amazed at somebody who has the talent to write at that level. But today, I got to come in with the writer of the number 4 book on the New York Times bestseller list, Gretchen Whitmer. So until I meet John Grisham, it'll have to do, but congratulations, Governor, on your success. Of course, we're here to celebrate a different success. The passage of the budget, which, while in Lansing it may have seemed a long slog, to the state of Michigan, you guys got this done on time, on schedule, time for schools to plan, time for cities to plan. And so congratulations to Speaker Joe Tate, Budget Chair Angela Whitwer in the House, Senate Majority Leader Winnie Brinks, and the Senate Budget Leader Sarah Anthony. I know it wasn't easy, but the product that they produced, $100 million in affordable housing. Now, okay, this is a big deal. Michigan has always relied entirely on the federal government for affordable housing. We haven't had state funding historically. But under the current governor and the current legislative leadership, we're now seeing that kind of investment, and that's going to allow us to continue to add units. You know, in this city, we've added 6,000 in the last 5 years, but the way the city's growing, if we are going to keep this city affordable for everybody, we're going to need more. And the same is true in Pontiac, and the same is true in Traverse City. The same is true in a whole lot of communities here. Thank you for that. The other thing they did was they passed $500 million in water infrastructure, largely to replace lead line pipes with copper pipes. All right? And so, in previous times, Lansing waited until there was a crisis on the lead pipes to act. But we are right now replacing 200 houses a week with new pipes. We have in Detroit the best water quality in America. We're not waiting until eventually these pipes start to deteriorate because of the support of the state of Michigan. The cities are going to get ahead of this and replace it before there's a health hazard. This is the kind of leadership we've got in Lansing. And a very special bill to every city was the funding of the Public Safety Trust Fund, $75 million for law enforcement. And in the city of Detroit, we're committing a third of our share right from the beginning to our community violence initiative, the folks who are in the neighborhoods, who are preventing the shots in the first place. They were funded with federal money that was going to expire in July. And because of this, we have a permanent support funding. You go to the Warrendale neighborhood for the last year, the shootings are down 70%. It is absolutely a function of the community violence teams in those neighborhoods. We're also going to be able to hire another 100 police officers. And I talked to the mayors of Pontiac, Grand Rapids, Flint, Lansing, who are ready to hire officers today. And you've seen, again, what happened in Detroit with the illegal street parties. Chief White and our folks did a great job. A few years ago, we had issues downtown. We staffed up and we stopped them. We had issues in parks. We now staff up with parks patrols. You never hear of an issue in a park. Last year, we had drag racing issues on streets through the city. They staffed up a drag racing detail, and you hear almost nothing about drag racing. This year, it's been illegal street parties, and since Chief White and the department have responded largely by putting people on overtime, we are now going in at 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11 o'clock, and breaking up these illegal street parties in a calm, relaxed way instead of going in at 1:30 in the morning in the middle of fights and worse. And I'm really very hopeful that Senate Majority Leader Brinks and the Senate will pass that last bill when you first get back in September to authorize this, because all of our cities are anxious to start hiring our new police officers October 1st. We have one last piece that's on the floor of the Senate, and hopefully you're here to do that, and I know all the police officers here will appreciate that prompt response. If you're wondering why you are here today, it's a special day for another reason. We are celebrating a Detroit hero. Firefighter Coleman Tate, in 1981, who was working out of this firehouse, died on his way to a response to an emergency 911 fire. He is beloved in Detroit to this day as a hero. I doubt that he could have imagined that his infant son, Joe, would grow up to be the first African-American Speaker of the House, right? Never left the old neighborhood, stayed in this community. And he has the benefit of, he's my representative. And so I want to introduce the second generation of Detroit heroes here in the city of Detroit, Speaker Joe Tate.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mayor Duggan, also Commissioner Sims, Chief Harris, Majority Leader Brinks, Chair Whitwer, Chair Anthony, fellow legislators, elected officials, and colleagues from across the state, and Governor Whitmer. As many of you know, as what the mayor said, my dad was a Detroit firefighter, and I'm honored to be here today at his station to commemorate the signing of the FY25 budget. The budget represents our core values, including lowering costs so families can flourish, keeping residents safe, and creating affordable housing. Every hometown from Detroit to Grand Rapids to the Upper Peninsula will benefit from tens of millions of dollars to establish a public safety trust fund, $100 million for innovative housing programs, and tax relief for families and seniors. With the passage of this budget, we are making transformative investments for every Main Street and every household, and Michigan continues to be on a stronger and brighter path forward. This budget is a plan built with you, the people, in mind. We are prioritizing funds for our local communities to keep life more affordable for residents. We are directing more dollars for public safety to keep our neighborhoods and our streets safe. We are injecting dollars directly into projects, organizations, and services so that residents experience a direct benefit from their tax dollars. We are making smart and fiscally responsible decisions to deliver for Michiganders because we are committed to putting people first. This is what is possible with a Democratic trifecta in Michigan. Yeah, you can clap for that. A heartfelt thanks to my colleagues in the Michigan House. We would not be here if it weren't for you all. Thank you all for the hours and hours and hours of work getting this budget done. Also want to thank my colleagues in the Senate and our partnership with Majority Leader Brinks and the work that she's done in the Senate, and the Lieutenant Governor as well as Governor Whitmer for putting in the hard work to deliver a sound plan for our state. But most of all, I want to thank the people of Michigan for entrusting us to govern and to deliver on their priorities. And we're going to continue to make you proud, now and into the future. Now I would like to introduce my partner in the Senate, Senate Majority Leader Brinks.
Thank you, Speaker Tate, and good morning, everyone. Oh, that was good. I am so proud to join you here today as the governor signs our Democratic majority's second state budget, our second state budget that truly serves Michigan families, students, schools, workers, and communities. Last year, our new majority focused our first budget on transformation. We seized the opportunity to change the way the state budget works. We prioritize people and places that were historically left out of this process for far too long. In turn, we transformed our ability to reach new heights here in Michigan. And in our second year of the Democratic majority, we centered this budget on continuation. We've continued placing the great people of Michigan at the forefront of our decision-making, and we have continued building on the historic progress that we started last year. With the governor's signature on this budget here today, together, we are effectively building up Michigan. We are building up Michigan's future with unprecedented investments in our kids and families, from supporting maternal and infant health services to improving child care costs. We are building up Michigan's economy, from bolstering entrepreneurs and small businesses to revitalizing workforce development and retention to attract the best workers to our state. We are building up Michiganders' savings by improving housing affordability and supporting tax assistance sites that help lower income folks get their taxes not only prepared, but help them access things like the expanded earned income tax credit. We are building up Michigan communities and strengthening the places that we call home by enhancing public safety and our quality of life. And we are quite literally building up Michigan through targeted infrastructure investments in roads, in bridges, and importantly, in water. Together, we carefully crafted this budget to build up Michigan's youth and families, our economy and workers, our savings, our communities, our infrastructure, and most importantly, our future. There are many people to thank for their extensive contributions to this year's budget. I want to start by expressing my sincerest gratitude to the unsung heroes in this process. And some of them aren't here, so we'll have to pass our thanks on to them another time. But the staff of the Legislative Service Bureau, the Senate and House fiscal agencies, and on our Senate team, Lori Day, Christy Schmidt, and Andy Solon, as well as my Chief of Staff, Kathleen O'Reilly-Farhat, who all helped get us across, get us across the finish line. To each legislator on appropriations, the subcommittees, the chairs, and their hardworking staff, thank you for your unwavering commitment to getting this budget done and done well. Chairwoman Sarah Anthony, thank you for your pragmatic leadership in your fervent drive to propel our state and its residents forward. You did a heck of a job, Chairwoman. To Speaker Tate and Governor Whitmer, together we have set a new bar and higher expectations for a budget that turns dollars into tangible progress. Tangible progress. That's precisely what we've accomplished here. And that's why I am so proud to stand alongside Governor Whitmer today as she puts her stamp on another historic, intentional state budget that helps us build a better Michigan for today and for the future. Thank you, and now I would like to turn it over to the Detroit Fire Chief hosting us today, Chief James Harris.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. I'm Chief James Harris. It's morning time. I just want to make sure everybody's up. I'm the chief of our Community Relations Division, Public Information Officer. Welcome. Welcome to our home. Here in Detroit, we treat everyone like family. So you're family. Welcome to our home. The world changed forever in 2020, but thanks to our Governor Gretchen Whitmer and the leadership of our illustrious Mayor Mike Duggan and our excellent Executive Fire Commissioner Chuck Sims, the Detroit Fire Department was more proactive than ever. More proactive than reactive, making sure there was a plan in place to safely respond and treat our residents in need. We're also able to shift to make sure every new cadet who graduates from our training academy has an EMT license so we can save even more lives. We appreciate the support of our Governor Whitmer, our partners in Lansing, our leadership, Speaker of the House Tate. With their help and under Mayor Duggan's leadership and Commissioner Sims, our EMS response times, hear me out, they have fallen below the national average for the first time, and we started in 1860. For the first time in the history of the fire department. We've also cut fire significantly, and thanks to a robust community fire prevention and safety program, things are looking great here at the DFD. So, on the Mount Rushmore of governors, she's the GOAT. The 1G is silent. She's the greatest governor of all time. She's the governor of the Great Lakes State. She's the governor of the greatest state in the United States. She's compassionate. That's why we're all here. She's an inspiration to all, men and women all over the world. Ladies and gentlemen, she's a Spartan. Put your hands together for the 49th governor of Michigan, our governor, Governor Gretchen Whitmer.
So now you all know why he's getting the pen after I sign the bill, right? The greatest hype man of all time, Chief Harris. Let's hear it. All right. Hi, everyone. I am so excited to be here in Detroit to sign my 6th budget, but our 2nd budget, leading and writing the terms of it together. And yesterday I signed the school aid budget. I was in Flint at EduCare, and we were surrounded by 3 and 4-year-olds. And you're just a little bit better behaved, so compliments. They were fantastic, and I think we should have kids in the room every single time. It was joyful because what we have done here is create another balanced, fiscally responsible budget that doesn't raise taxes by a dime, but yet makes another deposit into our rainy day fund, which climbs to a new all-time high of $2.2 billion. So we are responsible and yet making long overdue investments in the things that matter, the things that make people's lives better. This budget also keeps rolling back the retirement tax on our seniors, saving 500,000 households an average of $1,000 a year. And it puts an average of $664 back in the pockets of more than 650,000 families with our quintupled Working Families Tax Credit. So we're giving people tax relief, we're making long overdue investments, and we're doing it in a fiscally responsible way. At this core, this budget is about safety, and that's why we wanted to do this press conference here and sign the budget here. Since I took office, we've invested more than $1.5 billion to protect public safety. We've enacted common sense gun violence prevention laws, universal background checks, secure storage, and stronger penalties for domestic abusers, as well as red flag laws. We've been able to invest significantly more in local public safety over the last few years, thanks to our federal partners in the Biden-Harris administration. And what's the impact of all of these investments on the ground? Well, you heard it moments ago from the mayor and from the chief and the other chief and the other chief, right? They're the ones on the ground doing the hard work, and we've seen the results. Here in Detroit, we're seeing better pay and staffing, initiatives to engage directly with communities, historically low levels of violence, lower response times. There's no question we still have a lot of good work to do together, but we are on the path. I'm thinking of young people who are looking at our leadership now and seeing we are taking very seriously the trauma of gun violence in this country and the work that we're doing to keep people safe. This budget builds on that public safety work. We're increasing revenue sharing for local governments by the largest amount in the past decade, so we can hire, train, and retain. We're establishing a new public safety trust fund, which can surge resources to places that need it most. We've made upgrades to emergency communication systems so we can better respond to distress calls. And we're funding community violence intervention programs to tackle the root causes of gun violence and crime. We want to make sure that every Michigander, no matter where you live, is safe as you go to work, drop your kids off at school, run errands. This budget gets it done. So I want to talk a little bit about economic security for Michigan families. We need to build new factories, create jobs, and bring supply chains home. To get it done, this budget makes another deposit into our bipartisan economic development fund. It establishes the Innovation Fund to invest in scalable startups and launch hundreds of new Michigan-based companies. We're supporting entrepreneurs, small business owners of color, and we're setting up new farm-to-family program to bring Michigan crops to Michigan tables. As we win more projects and jobs, we need to ensure that Michiganders can compete for them. This budget supports our workers and our workforce, continuing the successful bipartisan Going Pro program that helps employers upskill their employees. We're funding new economic and worker transition office to ensure that we're preparing Michiganders for new clean energy and electric vehicle manufacturing jobs. And as I mentioned yesterday in Flint, we're guaranteeing that every high school graduate can earn an associate's degree or skills certificate tuition-free at their local community college. Woo! This budget's fire and I'm sweating, okay. As we all know, companies look at everything from business, climate, to quality of life and reliable infrastructure when they expand or move. To keep leading, our approach needs to be a bit like the title of last year's movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once. So as I gotta say, we're making it happen. As you can probably tell, this is a busy summer of construction. You're welcome. There are more Michiganders working in construction today than at any point in the last 22 years. They're rolling up their sleeves to fix the damn roads so people and products can get where they need to safely. So I ask that when you see an orange barrel, maybe you can curse under your breath, but slow down because there's hardworking women and men on the side of the road risking their lives to make our lives a little easier. Yeah. We will be issuing the final $700 million bond of the Rebuilding Michigan plan in the next fiscal year to keep building up our most economic, vital highways and bridges without raising taxes again. And we're investing another $4.2 billion into our roads and bridges, including $1.7 billion from the Biden-Harris administration's bipartisan infrastructure law. So it's not only about cars. This budget funds buses, rail, e-bikes. So whether you're using your own 2 feet or catching a ride with fellow commuters, your journey is smoother, safer, and cheaper. We're fixing stuff below the street level too, investing $500 million to upgrade our water infrastructure, as the mayor mentioned, including replacing lead pipes so that every community has access to clean water and has less flooding. And we're making an investment to reopen the Palisades nuclear power plant, protecting 600 good-paying jobs, clean, reliable energy for hundreds of thousands of homes. Michigan is going to be the first state to do something like that. The world is watching, and we're going to show we can get it done. And the most personal kind of infrastructure, of course, is housing. Everyone needs a safe, affordable place to call home. But we're facing a housing crisis in this country, driven by lack of supply. The Michigan response to the shortage is simple. Build, baby, build. Thank you for the music. I appreciate it. Together, we can drive down costs and make our neighborhoods better places to live, work, and invest. This year, MISHDA is making the largest investment to build housing in Michigan history, 10,000 units. This budget builds on this housing momentum, investing another $100 million to build or rehab affordable housing. And it funds the revitalization and placemaking program, backing projects to turn old, abandoned places into new housing or commercial spaces. And finally, I want to talk about how this balanced budget will make Michigan a healthier, more equitable place to live. Last year, we enshrined the Affordable Care Act into state law. And in May, I signed a bipartisan law requiring insurance to offer equal coverage for mental health and substance abuse disorder treatments. This budget goes a heck of a lot further. We've established behavioral health clinics to serve 35,000 patients. We zero out premiums in My Child, insurance for children in poverty. We fund the crisis line so you can get help when you need it, and continues Healthy Moms, Healthy Babies initiative to reduce racial, infant, and maternal health disparities. So I'm grateful to my partners in the legislature, Speaker Tate, Majority Leader Brinks, our chairwomen of our appropriations, Chairwoman Whitwer and Chairwoman Anthony. We have delivered a pragmatic, balanced budget that delivers on the kitchen table issues. There's a heck of a lot more in this budget, but I don't want to keep everyone here all day long. So I'm going to get busy and sign this thing and make it a reality for the people, for the businesses, and for communities across Michigan. I'm really grateful to all of my partners that helped us get it done. Thank you. This is a good read. It should be a New York Times bestseller. Yeah.